What you're looking at is the Hyundai i30N. In this review, I'll give you reasons why you should buy this car and also why you shouldn't buy this car. We'll talk about its features, what it's like to drive, and also I'll discuss its optional extras. Haha, joke. There are no optional extras. Everything here is standard. We'll talk about buying a brand new i30N or if you should rather go and buy a used one instead. And I'll also answer the question if whether you should buy the i30N or the Golf 8 GTI. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us get started. Because we're at a dealership, we couldn't fully rev the i30N, but I'll look for this car, I'll find this car, and I'll review it properly for you guys. But for now, let's work with what we have. The i30N exhaust is the #1 reason why you should buy this car. It's like nothing else. I mean, compare this to a Golf 8 GTI and it's not even a contest really when it comes to the sound. This thing is loud. Pa 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 pa. Even as you drive it, when you're downshifting, it's dancing, it's making sounds. You cannot drive this car and be angry. You cannot drive this car and be unhappy. It's not possible. If you're looking for a reason to smile in life, there it is, the i30N. If you have the money, go right ahead and buy it. Now, usually when I say nice things about a car, I know there's always someone thinking, this guy is paid. How much did Hyundai pay him to say these nice things? I'll even tell you a secret. Hyundai has never even answered a single one of my emails. They have straight up ignored me. But despite their blue ticks, because this is such an excellent product, I don't even mind going to a dealership to review one because I feel like people need to know just how good the i30N is. I would buy this car without even thinking twice. This is an excellent product from Hyundai. Well done, Hyundai. Well done. Now then, let's talk about the performance. The Hyundai i30N comes with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with an 8-speed DCT gearbox. It's got a top speed of 250 kilometers per hour and it will do 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. It has 206 kilowatts and 392 Newton meters of torque. So yes, to confirm your suspicion, it is more powerful than a Golf 8 GTI, which comes with 180 kilowatts and 370 Newton meters of torque. And the GTI does 0 to 100 in 6.4 seconds, which is a whole second slower. I'm sorry, GTI fanboys, I'm sorry. So in terms of performance, the i30N is simply ahead of the Golf 8 GTI. And while it's parking, let's leave it here and take a quick look at the interior. As I mentioned in the intro, there are no optional extras in this car, and that means you get a proper panoramic sunroof as standard. You also have a rear reversing camera and all-round parking sensors as well, and that over there is your steering wheel. It's got nice pedal shifters at the back there as well. This car also has different driving modes. It's got sport, it's got eco, and it has normal. Overall, this is your interior. Nothing complicated, no digital screen, analog dials. Please let me know in the comments, do you prefer the look of the Golf 8 GTI or you'd rather go with the old school look on the i30N? What I'm pressing over there is the NGS button. Basically what it does is for a couple of seconds, it gives you the full power on this car in case you want to do a quick overtake. Oh, and before I forget, as you can see, the front seat is electrically adjustable. While we're on the topic of seats, I'm sitting at the back there with the price. If you don't get it, forget about it. Anyway, that is your legroom pretty much. There's nothing much going on here. There are no rear air vents, no USB ports, nothing. But no one cares because this car makes nice sounds. And that over there is me clapping hands for this car because I was that impressed. Now, let me tell you about some of its features. It has lane follow assist, so we're testing it out there, but hey, I wasn't too sure because it was my first time testing out that feature. This was before the Everest Platinum, so yeah, I said nah, let's just leave that on for today. It also has blind spot collision avoidance, lane departure warning, and it also has rear cross traffic collision avoidance. In the few minutes I got to drive the i30N, I was honestly very impressed, especially from a performance point of view, because the i30N is set up like a performance car. Especially in sport mode, the suspension is stiff, the steering wheel is stiff. It's just telling you I'm ready to go on a racetrack and dominate. So if you're someone who wants something a little softer, something more to daily, Golf 8 GTI still wins on that one. With that said, you can make the ride a little better by playing around with the settings, but for the most part, this is a proper performance hot hatch. Speaking of settings, you have to do the settings somewhere. So that somewhere is the infotainment screen. You get a 10.25-inch infotainment screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. If you haven't seen my VW T-Roc review, I'll leave a link in the description. The reason I bring it up is if you wanted wireless charging in the T-Roc, it is 4,300 Rand. Here you get it as standard. Now then, let's get to the reason you're all here, prices and money. Now, as you remember, the i30N was around 795,900 Rand. The price has increased from that amount. Right now, a brand new Hyundai i30N will cost you 811,900 Rand. Now, as you saw in my Golf 8 GTI review, if you haven't, link in the description, a standard Golf 8 GTI is much cheaper. But after we added in extras of 96,200 Rand, it came to 862,700 Rand. So the i30N is still cheaper than a Golf 8 GTI. Unless, of course, you want a Golf 8 GTI that doesn't have a sunroof. The only problem with the pricing of the i30N is how fast it loses its value. You can find a 2023 i30N with less than 10,000 kilometers on the clock for around 670,000 Rand. And the one you're looking at right now, as it fetches the price from the back seat, is 649,900 Rand. So if we just round it up, that is a depreciation of around 150,000 Rand over just 10,000 kilometers. For me, this is good news because it means I can get this car for far less than it's worth. The whole point of this review is, unless you really love peeling off plastics and you really want a brand new car, go right ahead and get a demo or a used Hyundai i30N. Save yourself around 150,000 Rand. In fact, use that 150 as a deposit for your i30N, making it even cheaper for you. But if you insist on buying a brand new one, here are your prices. A brand new one, as I mentioned, will be 811,900 Rand. On finance, that is 15,873 Rand over 6 years at 12% interest. And a full tank will cost you 1,132 Rand. And if you got an insurance premium of 3,000 Rand, your total cost of ownership would come to 20,005 Rand. So if you got one for 650, you'd save around 3,167 Rand every month for 6 years. You can do a lot with 3,000 Rand. You can use it for petrol. In fact, the claimed fuel consumption here is 8.9 liters to the 100, but you will not be getting that figure, especially if you have this car in sport mode. Alternatively, you can use that 3,000 Rand to, wait for it, fill up the boot with groceries. As you'll notice, you also have a spare wheel in case of an emergency, and this boot is actually 381 liters in capacity. That over there is the strut brace to add to the stiffness of this performance car. When it comes to service plans, you get a 5-year, 75,000 kilometer service plan, and you also get a 5-year, 150,000 kilometer warranty. And because it's a Hyundai, you also get an additional 2-year, 50,000 kilometer powertrain warranty. So to answer the question I brought up at the start of this review, would I choose this over a Golf 8 GTI? At 650,000 Rand, yes. Now, when we talk GTIs, you know, the Huns, the baddies, you know, you don't even need to explain anything. With the i30N, you'll need to explain like, no, this Hyundai is proper, it's fast. You have to put it in NGS mode, show them the pops. But after getting a ride in this car, I'm telling you, they'll love it, they'll love it. Just that you need to explain. GTI introduces itself, bruh. It's just there. It's cool. It's got that thing. And there's only one reason why I would say don't buy an i30N. That reason would be if you can't afford it. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. Well, if you can't afford it, you can't buy it, but you get my point. If you can afford it, go right ahead and get it. I can't think of a lot of reasons why you shouldn't. This is an excellent vehicle, especially if you're buying it after someone bought it, sent it back because they couldn't afford the installment. At under 700,000 Rand, I think you're getting a lot of car for your money. By the way, this is actually the early 28,000 subscriber special. Just a bonus episode to say thank you for your support. If you haven't liked, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Support local YouTube, guys. It's the right thing to do. And speaking of supporting local YouTube, check out BMTV. He actually owns an i30N. He does a whole lot of cool stuff with it. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. But before you leave, don't forget to check out my sponsor, changecars.co.za. They have a whole bunch of cars, new and used. So if you're looking for an i30N, I'll leave a link to their website in the description as well. You can go check out as many i30Ns as you can find. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Until the next one, take care.